of emails that we've received both from the Hillhead Residents Association and from the Beach Hut Owners Association. There is an additional recommendation before members this evening, which is that we agree tonight that we will not charge 39 beach hut owners during the construction period when their huts will not be accessible. So that is what we'll be deciding this evening as well. And I suppose, so we don't want to lose focus on what the project is and the cost of the project. It's a very expensive project for which we have no responsibility to have to do it, but we did make a commitment a year or two ago that whatever this cost, it would be found, and we would do what we could to preserve the beaches at Hillhead and from obviously the sea defences falling into the sea. But as Councillor Evans has explained, we are not eligible for any grant funding from the Environment Agency to do that because there isn't any residential property of any significance which is at major risk if the sea defences do fall into the sea, which they will most certainly do if we don't take the action that we're proposing this evening. So it's a very expensive business for which we will receive no support, for which, to be honest, we have no responsibility to have to do, but we are intending dealing with it. And then I guess the only other issue there, which both Councillor Mandry has mentioned and the emails that we've had have mentioned, is this business of putting railings on the top of the wall, which on the face of it seems absolutely ludicrous to say that you must put a protective railing on top of a wall, which is actually pretty well flush with the beach at the moment. And I think the pictures which have been circulated really illustrate that very well, in that we have an 8-foot drop from one area, which, because it's pre-existing, doesn't need any railings on top of it at all. And then we have a no-foot drop from where the new wall will go, and because it is new, it has to have railings. And I would love to be able to recommend that we dispense with the railings, but I'm advised that if anything happened at all at that site, and somebody had a fall, even if it's a 2-inch fall, but if they have a fall and sustain injury, we will be liable. Is that confirmed, Mr. Solicitor?
In principle, yes, not always liable for everything, but the CDM regs apply. So fortunately, new construction means you have to comply that minimum height, so I'm happy with our choice leader.
Okay, and this is because it is a new construction rather than something which is pre-existing, where people should, and we can use as defence, that they should just mind where they're going. Apparently, if we put up something new, that defence won't help us. So, Councillor Cartwright.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, on this particular one, I think it spells it out. I'm very happy to support the project. I think in some respects it's a shame that we're concerned about railings rather than actually talking about just how good the project is, the amount of money we're spending, which we don't need to do. So the railings are, are probably sort of not necessary. Certainly we don't need to approve it here tonight. We're here to approve the amount of money. I think going back to the sort of railings, etc., and the beach itself, I have quite a good experience of what happens to beaches around Hayden Arden, and we see there in 2 years all the tons of shingle has moved completely, either out to sea or into the harbour itself, and they're now replenishing that at the moment. So, I think we need to be careful. We all know how deep it was originally there, so I don't think we've got much choice. I think, as you have said, that's what the rules are nowadays. We haven't got any other choice. But as I say, my view is that I'm very happy to support. I think it's an excellent thing we're doing. We're spending an awful lot of money on it, and I think we should be actually triumphing that particular situation.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ms. Bell.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I support the recommendations. In fact, there's now 3 in front of us, A, B and C. So we do take on board some of the comments that we received by email with regard to suspending the rent at the beach hut owners. And I think I echo Councillor Cartwright's comments. This is an amazing project for this area. It's going to be in total 950,000 that we spent in that area. And I think everyone should be very grateful for the works that we don't have to do. There's no statutory requirement to do it, and we could have just said, no, we haven't got the money to do it. And don't forget, this is a 50-plus year project that has to last, and we don't know what beach levels are going to be in that time. We've had it explained about the railings. Today, it looks a little odd, but we don't know in 5, 6, 7 years' time, those railings might actually be more needed because the beach levels have dropped. But we have no choice. It is a planning matter, and I think we should really highlight the actual project that's being done and the amount of money that we are putting as a council to get that project on its way. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Councillor Harper?
I totally support this without going over the words that have kind of been taken from me already. I do think the ratings are a bit, it's a bit of a crazy one. Bit of a crazy one that the seawall half a mile down the road by Sultan's is more of a drop and you don't need one and there. But as you've already said, it's because it's a new installation rather than a repair. But totally support it. It's something we don't need to do, and it will support that area of the beach.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Councillor Landry.
Thank you, Chairman. Unfortunately, I do support, well not unfortunately, but I do support this. I do sympathise with the beach owners and the residents of Hillhead, but having lived there for so long, I know how the beach goes up and it goes down, and in 50 years' time it could be anywhere. If you look at the old Sober now, many years ago, or about 10 years ago, I suppose, they imported shingle with boulders, and even that's moving now. And obviously, it's all going east, so ours go up to the Sober, probably go further on anyway, but I do support it.
Thank you. Carried up, Councillor Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for their support. Just a few points to pick up some points Councillor Mandry mentioned. He mentioned, of course, that they had Exec, some of the beach out and build the stairs and then push the shingle back. But then, of course, we did so, we put the shingle in to protect it, make sure it remained in place over the winter. We're actually going to have to excavate in front the whole length of the wall to be able to build the wall itself, and then the stairs will go down sufficiently low that were the beach to drop 4, 5, 6 feet, we will still be able to walk down onto the beach that's there. Just to have an anchor point, and so we also looked at that, because I think the railings are important, they're ugly, and they're visually intrusive, but they bring us up to a 1.1 metre height, which is what's required. And were we, of course, just to put the wall there, I would venture to suggest that would create a worse hazard, because the wall is only 60 centimetres high, and you could easily sort of topple over that. It's all difficult circumstances, but for example, if you go to Portsmouth, where they've got, I think, 4 schemes underway, or about to go underway, 2 of them are repairing what's already there, and they're maintaining what was there before. There are 2 new schemes, and both those schemes, if you look at the detail, have walls in front of them to prevent people toppling over. It's unfortunate, but it's a situation we are stuck with.
Thank you. So the recommendations before us then are on the paper to approve the funding of pushing £650,000, and as we've been reminded, that's on top of £300,000 we've already spent, so this is £1 million worth of spending at Hillhead on beach defences. Awarding the contract to the preferred supplier, which is set out in the confidential appendix, and also agreeing that rent will not be charged for the 39 beach hut owners during the construction period when they will be unable to access their beach huts, and I'm guessing that's about 3 months. So those recommendations agreed. Okay.